Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast. Since last week's episode, things are still quite a bit grim over here. I told you last week of the mind-boggling number of people who were killed. Since then, the official count has more than doubled. We're talking over 1,400 dead Israelis, over 200 kidnapped, and yeah, still very, very tough. I'm recording these partly just to occupy myself and not think about this for a few minutes. So this week, I want to talk about something that I've been talking to with my clients here in Israel, and that's about resilience. And there are two aspects here that I'm going to touch on briefly. First of all, there's how do we create organizations that are resilient? And I'm seeing it right now when it comes to teams. We have so many who have a significant portion of their teams that's currently not working because they are in mourning, because they were called up to the army for reserves, which is the majority of our army right now, and because they have to stay home with the kids because there are no schools in most of Israel right now. And this naturally greatly harms startups, right? Yeah, there's war, but you have a runway and you're now going to lose precious time. What are you going to do? So resilient teams are those teams who, initially don't have too many of these hero coders, don't have too many of these people who regularly feel valuable because they can help with everything, but end up being a single point of failure. And if you're thinking right now about creating an organization that's more resilient, not just for war, okay, I'm hoping no one's, if you're not here in Israel, I'm hoping you're never going to have to prepare for war, but at least prepare for stuff like people leaving, people getting sick, that sort of stuff. And to do that, always be on the lookout for having too many heroes or having someone be a hero too much. Always be on the lookout for opportunities to let people do things that are not their core capability. Pay that short-term price of having people learn because it is going to pay off a lot in the long term, which is something I covered in my talk 2 weeks ago in Budapest, which feels like it's been 3 years ago. And the second part that I want to talk about, not about resilient organizations, but about resilient leaders. And this is about you yourself. And if there's something that I think is very important right now, is to still allow yourself to take a bit of time for self-care. Take a bit of time to think. Take a bit of time to process what's going through your head, to write down your thoughts. About work or not, I do know that it is extremely helpful. There's research about it. There's my own empirical experience. When we do that, it really helps us process. It helps us not get stuck in trauma, and it does make us more resilient. So make it a habit to take even just 5 minutes and write down what's running in your head. It can be a stream of consciousness. It can be something a bit more structured when it comes to journaling, whatever it is. If you make a habit of it, there's tons of evidence that it will help you become more resilient, become a stronger person, and a better leader. And I hope that one of these small tips will help you if you're here, will help you survive the next few weeks, which are going to be hard. If you're someplace else, just help you be a better leader because it's so important. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. See you here next week.